So I just came back from a bathroom break, but Sugar Pine Press asks, how do you think the limitations of human perception and cognition affect our ability to understand and construct meaningful philosophical theories about reality, morality, or free will? In a nutshell, I suppose I'm wondering if you think brains can really trust themselves and each other when they're making claims about the world. I would say that the first thing that comes to mind about how the limitations of human perception and cognition affect our ability to understand and theorize about various areas. First thing I should note is that there is a position called the Mysterion position, and I'm not sure if it's limited to the philosophy of mind and particularly consciousness, but the Mysterion would say that yes, there are limitations to our cognition that prevent us from understanding certain things. For instance, in this case, consciousness. But let me answer the first part of the question. If we're accustomed to using language in a certain way, if because of the way we're constituted over eons of evolution, we see the world in certain ways, it can be very difficult to rid ourselves of the common sense or intuitive beliefs that we've been, for lack of a better word, programmed to hold. And I'll give some examples from various areas. I mean, with regard to reality, I already talked about mathematical Platonism, but we do use mathematical language and reason about mathematics in such a way that it seems like there are objective mind independent truths about math, maybe even mathematical objects, and it's very difficult to rid ourselves of this belief. Another reality adjacent concern is space time. So in everyday life, we see or perceive or experience the objects around us as moving around in space and time. Space and time being something like a fundamental background or stage on which all of these events are taking place. But the family of successor theories or potential successor theories to our two best physical theories, which are quantum field theory and general relativity. So this family, quantum gravity, of which loop quantum gravity, string theory, causal set theory, etc., are part. Many of them do not have space and time as fundamental at all. They emerge from something that's much more fundamental, but it's very difficult for us to conceive of what that might even be like. And this could be a limitation on our theorizing. Then you also asked about morality and free will. I think it is pretty clear from the debates on free will that it is very difficult for us to imagine what not having free will could even be like, since we feel so strongly that we do have free will. And it makes it very difficult to entertain arguments that we don't have it, even if we can understand those arguments. Then, with regard to morality, I guess I'll give an example with Pins's hunchback that you can see there. We all have this very strong intuition that even if tomorrow everybody decided to start kicking cats and nobody felt bad about it, that kicking cats would still be wrong, that there is a mind independent objective fact about whether or not kicking cats is wrong. I do not believe there is, because I don't think this fits into a naturalistic scientific picture of the world. But because we all feel, and I'm one of these people, so strongly about kicking cats and that it's bad, it's very difficult for us to get rid of this idea that there are mind independent moral facts. And then, okay, returning to your question, in a nutshell, I suppose I'm wondering if you think brains can really trust themselves and each other when they're making claims about the world. So this seems like a question that is part epistemic, so a question about knowledge, and also a question about a normative question, so a question about what we should or shouldn't do. And my response to this is that certainly we ought to be very careful about all of our beliefs. And that's one of the reasons that rigor is so important in philosophy. You really want to dot all your I's and cross all of your T's, because it is very easy to make mistakes. But this is with regard to brains trusting themselves and each other when they're making claims about the world. This is one reason that, I mean, global skepticism is such a thorny problem. So this is the problem of the external world. I mean, can we even trust our own brains that there is an external world? And I don't know of a really convincing argument that we absolutely can. I think it's the inference to the best explanation, or the inference to the best explanation is that there is an external world, and I am very confident in that. But I can't rule out the alternative, that I'm a brain in a vat, or that this is a simulation, or something to that effect.